So we went up to Silver Canyon, which is one of my favorite spots. He's been there a million times. We run around, we're hiking for like 30 minutes. Everything's amazing. So I load all of them up, and as soon as like Odin turns around, like he was possessed. I don't even know how to describe it. He looks right at me, like dead stare, and he lunges. So I am trying to get around to like get into my truck, and at that point he literally takes me down like a lion on a gazelle, bites me once, like running, bites me, takes me down to the ground. And the second that he bit me a second time, I was like, this is an oh shit moment. So I just throw out a couple of commands thinking maybe I can interrupt this. I was like, I tried stay, leave it, like okay, like everything, right? Thinking like maybe I could get to this dog, and he starts walking up my back, and at that point I'm like, oh, I'm in a bad spot. So I just cover my head and neck, and I just screamed. And at that point, to be honest with you, I really believe my Cane Corso saved my life. He came in and he like boarded that water boy, like Adam Sandler style, hit Odin off of me and attacked him.
Ready? What's up, boy? Hey guys, welcome back to the Odin story. So today's a big day for Odin. He actually got to start working with Noah, one of our assistant trainers. And it's big because with a dog like him, he by nature is very leery of new people, especially men. And he actually took to Noah really, really well. It's almost as though Odin knew Noah was part of my pack. So right now, Noah's just doing a little leash sensitivity, trying to keep him engaged with him. But as you can see, this dog is laser focused on me. It just goes to show that he and I have a really good connection right now that we're just continuing to build upon. For Noah, it can be a little bit of a challenge, as you can see right there. He is very resistant on finishing what we're asking him to do during leash sensitivity. But in the end, it ended up working out really, really well. They did an amazing job. It actually was kind of comical to watch Odin and Noah work together. You know, I was very pleased with the way this worked out. As far as Odin's going, I would say he's doing really well. We're going to do a video today, a little bit later, on our thought processes on what is happening with him. So stay tuned. Hey guys, all right, so we're going to do a little update on Odin. Overall, he's doing really, really well. I wanted to kind of clarify a few things as we go along and to kind of give you guys what we're thinking and what we're seeing. First thing I want to clarify is some things that I see online. And one of those things is there's no such thing as a bad dog, just bad humans. As much as I want that to be true, it's not. That is an absolute fallacy. There are dogs that are just straight up assholes. And then there are dogs that are absolute power breeds that will push the limits whenever they get a chance and will test you from the start to the finish all the time. And so that comment about there's no such thing as a bad dog isn't true. All right, I wish it was, but I've seen many, many asshole dogs that just don't like humans, and it is what it is. And they were never abused. Liability. People want to talk about liability. As far as liability is concerned, number one, whenever you have a human aggressive dog or any dog that's ever bitten, and especially a power breed, you have to always maintain and set the dog up for success and limit contact. If you have a Borbal, you shouldn't have this dog around strange kids. You shouldn't. Right? That's not the dog for that. His owner has been really good at that and has always maintained healthy boundaries with this dog around other people. And he's always been reactive towards strangers, which is what Borbals do. That is their job, is not to be trustworthy of strangers. So she's always done a very, very good job of maintaining that with him. So as far as that's concerned, hey, she's doing a great job. As far as trusting, can she ever trust him again? That's between her and him, all right? I can't speak for her. You can't speak for her, and maybe you can ever trust him. But number one, this isn't your dog and you don't know. This is her dog, and it is up to her to make that decision. Just like it was up to her to do the training, and it's up to her to keep him, okay? I have no say in this. My job is to help their relationship get better. That's it. Try to set them up for success, teach her what things that she needs to do to have a successful relationship with him. That is my job. We make no promises, we make no guarantees. And so far, you know, we're obviously fulfilling that. So, and we've been very clear in that manner. Now, when you have a dog like him in a situation like this, okay, so when the dog has been a good dog and never had an issue, and then all of a sudden something happens, there's a couple boxes that you need to check. So everybody says get a medical check. We did. The only thing we didn't get was a neuro check. And the vet and I both agree does not seem neuro at all to us. Now, could it be? Sure, but I have not seen any signs of initiative at this point. So then what else? Within that medical check, pain, blood work, all that kind of stuff, all that came out super clear. So when you go through these things as a trainer, you have to, if you remember that show, Dr. House, where they have to get really creative in their thought process on how to figure out what's wrong with somebody. These are, situations that don't fit normal boxes. So same thing for him. So one of the things I'm asking her to do is get herself medically checked. And gotta love this lady. She took everything I've asked and run with it. So she's gotten a medical check so far. She's got 2 or 3 more appointments. I did get clearance from her to be able to talk about what she's discovered so far. And the first thing she just discovered is her thyroid is gone. And having a dead thyroid can most definitely throw things off, and your dog can react differently to you. And that was a huge one right there, okay? So she's on medication for that. She's gonna be working through that and see if that makes a difference. And what's interesting is this, you read some of the comments, there is a gal in one of our comments that same thing happened to her. She had a thyroid issue, ended up getting thyroid cancer, and her dog, I'm gonna say still adorable as well, went after her. So once she got that fixed, if I remember her comment correctly, that her relationship with her dog changed. She's got other things that she needs to check off the box to make sure there's any other underlying medical conditions that she needs to deal with. Now, we've shown you some really cool videos of him acting really goofy and a great dog, but I have seen some aggression in him. And, we did not capture it on film, but it was surrounding his mom. So he ended up guarding her really heavily. And come here. Good. Thank you. Good boy. And that told me a lot about their relationship. So if you remember the dog Woo that we worked with, it was a lot of claiming that was going on there. And that behavior that he did was claiming as well. So that tells me there's definitely a balance issue within that relationship. So we have to explore that further and work through that so that he understands where his placement is in the pack. A guy like this man, or this dog, he is, like I stated before, a power breed. He will test until there's no tomorrow. When I'm working with him, he's constantly kind of pushing the limits. I want to go over here, I want to go over there, I want to go over here. And if I give into those things, then I'm giving into him. And that is not what we're doing, okay? I don't capitulate. I set the standard of what I expect from him, and I don't capitulate. So if he wants to go over there, not today, or not right now. If he really wants to go sniff something, I'm not gonna let him do it. I will bring him back to it, okay? So I'm not a total dick. But it's about setting your standards and your boundaries and keeping to it. Just like right here, where he started pulling on the leash and I corrected him. Get back over here, okay? So she, once we started talking about it, admitted that those things were happening, that he was pushing against her, that he was invading her space, that he was becoming more and more demanding. So now you go into, is he starting to feel like he's flipping the tables on her and becoming the leader of the pack? And that can be a problem with a dog like him, okay? So she started realizing that there's been things that have been occurring prior to this experience that she let go. That in conjunction with her work and her stress level, and that was one of the first things to ask her is like, what's going on with you? What's changed in your life? It's another key question that good dog trainers should ask when they say something's changed. Like the dog became aggressive, the dog this. What changed in your life? What big events occurred? And for her, it's been work. It's been incredibly stressful for her, and she's been struggling with it. And as she admits, like having to be more of an alpha in her work, and I hate the term alpha, but let's just use that for descriptive measures, or descriptive sake. So she's the alpha at work, and she really doesn't want to come home and have to be, that same person she has at work here. But sorry, you have to do it because that's the dog you got, all right? So this is not like a normal dog. Borbals are just, they are one of the most advanced dogs that you can get. They are just, can't mess around with them, man, Am I right? They are a power breed of power breeds. So her giving into this can be very detrimental to the relationship. That plus she's got 3 other power breeds makes a difference. So this is where we're at right now is we're still in the exploratory phase. We're going through our 5-step with him. We're bringing her in with her Cane Corso. and they're going to learn the 5 steps with the Cane Corso so that she's got that dialed before she starts working with him. And then once she feels good, we're going to bring him back into the picture. They're going to start working together there. So the goal in this is, hey, let's set up the appropriate boundaries. Let's set up the appropriate structure for her. Let's get your communication skills down with your dog. Let's get your dog seeing you as pack leader versus follower, which is where she's kind of fallen into at this stage in the game. Okay, so if we follow these steps and we have no other medical issues going on with her, I think we could see a pretty good outcome. You know, going back to, can she trust this dog? It's up to her, man. You know, it's up to her to go down that road with him. You know, and I hope she can. You know, she's very determined. She's a very strong-willed, determined woman, and I got to give her credit. So, hope you guys found that informative. Keep watching this story, and we'll go from there. All right? What'd you think? What you tell me what you thought? Tell me what you thought. I don't know. I know. Odin, your turn to go meet Miss Candace. Are you ready? So Candace is working Odin here. We're doing a little bit of leash sensitivity still. His determination to get to me is pretty strong. It's pretty impressive, but she's working through it nicely. There you go, that's great. Starting to see some affection building in there. Hi, Odin, what's going on, my man? So some of you guys can comment, his muzzle is too small, and I agree, his muzzle is too small. And we're working on sizing him on a new one that I've got. We're just kind of working into that right now. So we have a much bigger one when we're out here with him with this muzzle. It is for very short periods of time. The bigger ones I have, he's gonna have a ton of breathing room, but we're just easing into that right now. So I only use a muzzle when I'm introducing new people to him. Him and I, we don't use muzzles together. So, am I right, Odin? Huh? What's up, man? Okay. One determined dog right there. Tenacity within him is impressive. Hi, how are you, handsome? So, the art of physical communication with just your body is something everybody should master. A great way to practice that is so, going forward, none of your dogs should just forward down. Okay? They need to sit, wait, and learn some foot control. That's very important training aspect that everybody needs to learn. So when I get to this point, I'm going to step out on my right foot like this, step in between him and the pole. Now I'm going to use spatial pressure every time he decides he wants to move out. Usually put his head down and start moving. Okay? So that's my indication that he's going to be stepping out. The head drops. So I'll take a step back. Now, start to put his head down. I kind of preempted it by moving towards him. If you see how I'm standing on my toes, kind of leaning into him, but I'm still keeping the height up, right? I'm not crouching down. So I'm getting strong with my stance. vibrations, all right? We have to focus on what our vibrations are. The vibrations come from our heart. It's electromagnetic field, okay? Dogs put it out, humans put it out. I think dog is like 15, 20 feet, humans like 5 to 10 feet. Horses are like a quarter mile. Horses, they'll put sentries out around the herd and they all communicate through vibrations. They know your intention when you walk up because they feel it. Dog, same thing. That's part about being authentic. When you're authentic to who you are, your vibrations will match. So being authentic, being calm, assertive, being calm, confident, being powerful comes from in here. So first ground yourself, root yourself, bring it to center. And then it's imagine what do you want it to look like. Imagine what do you want it to be. I talked to you about that before. Envision your movements and your body will follow.
Round 1.
Walk past him, walk past us.
Round 2.
Good boy. Good boy.
Final round.
Odin. Very good. Odin, come here, baby. That's a good boy. So see a little bit of tension right there, back up. So you added too much tension right there. End of the leash. Hold the end of the leash, okay? There you go. Because when you put that tension on, you're telling him something's wrong, right? All right, so pass me the leash real quick. Odin, come here, baby. Let's go. Yes. Yes. I know, my man. You're doing so good. I'm so proud of you, huh? Oh, head rubs. Okay, so watch me. Okay, go. Yep, go, you're good. Nice and loose, loosey-goosey. There you go, take it. Okay, now, circle through. You can shorten your leash at the moment you're gonna start working with him. Bring him back to your side and behind you. I just want you to turn around, come back, put him to your side and behind you. You can shorten the leash to do that. So when I was watching you walk, it was doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, we're just kind of cruising along. And no, okay, so that's the calm version, that's cool, right? But that's telling him that you're in control. Now, if I was a bad guy, right, and I'm watching you walk, does that look like somebody I can love? Versus, you see the difference? Good boy, Odin. Good job, man. Keep it short and sweet. To the point. Yeah, there's my guy right there. Who's my guy? Oh, Jesus. Odin, what you doing? Odin, what you got? What are you doing, man? Hey. Thank you. Good.
Odin. Oh, good boy.
That's a good boy, Odin. Come here. Let's go. Come here. Ha ha. What's up, boo? Here you go.
Odin, come here. Come here, Odin. Hey, buddy. Come here. Hi, buddy.
Good job, dude.
So when he doesn't want to get distance, do I just keep?
You just keep trying. There it is right there. Face him when you do, though. Your job's to try and set it up. Take him towards things that he'll want to go sniff. You can even like bring him up to me. You can bring him up to that thing. Yeah, whatever it is.
Say hi.
Take him over to that fence post over there. The one to the left, that one there. Yep, right there to your right now. Right to your right. Okay, so this is his job. His job is to stay next to you, right? His job is not to let you set it up. So he's doing good. Take him up towards the truck. The truck is always a good one. Good. Okay, so he's on point. So shorten your leash and start phase 2. Turn the e-collar down to a really low number. I usually do about 20, 30 feet distance between the two. There you go. growled? Who growled? Odin did. Okay. Okay.
Good man. Good boy. Good boy.
Right? It's really not all that committed, but I don't think this is a good combo.
Yeah, it's not. Sit. Sit. Odin, sit. Stay. 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 Okay.
Okay, so one thing. Out of my bushes. Oh, your drama queen comes out. She's sitting up now. Apparently he doesn't like the big one. I get it. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Good, good. That's a boy. That's a good boy.
Yeah, good choice, my man.
Good.
Okay, come on. Come. Good tongue. You're kicking my ass right now. Come on. Over here. Right there. Come on.
Right here. Right there. No. Here. Down. Down. Thank you. Very nice. Good job. Good choice right there. Love it. You use that in your house. One of the things we see a lot lately are people getting dogs like Odin that they're physically not capable of handling, yet they still think they can own a dog like him. Now, his owner's physically capable. She's a strong gal. He's a big dog, but she's done a good job with him. But we see a lot of people that are getting dogs that outweigh them, men and women. And that is a recipe for disaster. Even if the dog isn't aggressive, but gets super excited, you're gonna get dragged. You're gonna get dragged down to the ground. And dogs know when they can actually do that with their owners. The dogs know the owner's capabilities. So when you go to choose a dog that fits your lifestyle, a dog that is within your capabilities of training. So if you've never had a dog before, you don't get a dog like him, you don't get a pit bull, you don't get any form of a mastiff, right? And then you get a dog within your size range. But something I want to talk about real quick too is, you know, online, a lot of people saying, hey, that this guy, he belongs to me, you know, that I should adopt him, that he looks more comfortable with me, and that his mom doesn't look alpha or doesn't look comfortable with him. You guys aren't reading things right, because that's just what we're showing you. Yeah, he and I get along really, really well. That's normal for a dog in our training. It's amazing the ignorant comments you hear about having a dog out here with a muzzle on, and that if he's aggressive, then he shouldn't be out here. Little do they realize that he's in training, and you know, it's just being responsible. But that's the discrimination you see. A lot of people see when they have their dog on muzzle. It just means those people are ignorant, they don't understand. Muzzles are not a bad thing. Muzzles are a good thing. Muzzles equate to freedom. I mean, he's just a puppy, right? Just like a big old puppy. Could I trust him without his muzzle? Yeah, honestly I could. I could walk him through there without a muzzle and feel confident with him. Is that the responsible thing for me to do as a professional trainer and handler? No, it's not. He's shown a propensity to bite and to make poor decisions. So it wouldn't be advisable for me to take those risks with him, especially in such a crowded area when you got kids and stuff running around. So taking these steps to help him work through his issues, learn how to trust and follow in a safe manner is the best approach that we can take.
Is that your brother? Is that your brother? Bear. Bear, come. Is that your brother? Were you excited to see him?
A lot of people have asked about Odin's pack. These are his brothers. The white dog is Wyatt. He is a Timberwolf Husky hybrid, and he is around 8.5 years old. He was rescued when he was a puppy. He weighs about 100 pounds. That's Bear. He is about 8, and he is half Borbal, half Great Dane, all attitude, and he weighs around 170 pounds. This is Bodhi. He's a Cane Corso. He just turned 2. He was rescued about a year ago, and he's probably 130. There's Odin, the Borbal. He was rescued about 2 years ago. He's 3.5, and he's probably down to about 155 pounds. Are you gonna say hi? You always gotta tell everyone.
How's this process been for you?
It's been an interesting process. There's been a lot of growing pains, I think, on my part, but it's been like full circle, the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Good. What have you learned through this?
A whole lot. So prior to coming here, I have been through formal training with all 4 of my dogs. Learned a lot from the trainer. They're incredible at what they do and protection work and obedience, but just a different specialty than what you do.
Okay.
And so having an aggressive dog, there's really, a specific toolkit that you need and someone that's capable of teaching you that. And so I feel like I've really been able to understand a lot more dog psychology piece, as well as understanding what I need to do for myself and for my pack to make sure that we can live in harmony and hopefully really live, successfully long term.
What has been the hardest part?
Probably, honestly, this being like a public experience. For those people that know me, I'm not a very public person, and being, I guess, exposed to millions of people, commenting all the time on what you aren't doing when they see literally seconds worth of a clip, even though I think collectively we've probably both put in like hundreds of hours into this process, has been difficult. But a big part of the learning was I wanted to be vulnerable. I wanted people to be able to learn from my experience and for people to know they're not alone. There's a large problem, in the US in particular and around the world with dogs that are aggressive for whatever reason, for whatever their history, whether it's genetics, whatever it is. And the only option for a lot of people is putting the dog down, or they put him in the shelter system, which is completely overwhelmed. And it puts, other good dogs that are vulnerable. And I wanted to be and hopefully be an asset to the rest of the community and learn from my mistakes, and also just not feel alone in the process.
I think the fact that you agreed to letting it be public and open was huge, because like you said, it's a big learning experience, and you are vulnerable. You are opening up your personal life to scrutiny. What always gets me is the judgmentalness of everything. I'll be honest, this is one of the tougher cases for me. Like, I actually kind of started doubting myself because of all the negative comments, especially from some of those youthful trainers. And despite the years of experience that I have, there's times that I kind of doubted myself. And as you had mentioned, you kind of doubted the process too.
Yeah, multiple times. You're being kind. There's a bunch of mean girls, and there's a bunch of dudes that are just being dicks through the process too. And it's like, it's not easy when you're learning anything to not make mistakes, and that's part of the process, I think.
What I found intriguing is, there was men that said some stupid comments, but the majority were women that were just on you about, you can't do it, you're not this, you're not that, you're not alpha enough, you're not confident enough. And that's what really just pissed me off, because it's like, you're learning and you're on camera. Of course you're not confident looking. But why do you think it was the women? Why do you think the women are so judgmental in those moments?
Well, going back before I answer that question is, I am one of the most awkward people, especially on camera. So not only learning when you're fumbling your way through and trying to learn new techniques, but I am just super awkward. And it was hilarious to look at some of the comments, which after a while I just stopped because it was too much and it was too time consuming, and I have better things to do with my life and give back to my community. So like, why am I going to give these people their time? But a female that we'll just leave it at a pretty high ranking in the public safety community. I see it all the time. I've experienced it a lot in my career, and for whatever reason, it's so frustrating because when women come together, I mean, they really can be so strong and incredible, but we tend to just tear each other apart, and it's really unfortunate. There's a lot of psychological theory behind that, but for whatever reason, I think the anonymity of social media brings out the worst in people. Yeah. Although I do have to say, I'm so thankful and appreciative of people that shared similar experiences or were just positive through the process. Yeah. That makes a big difference. Those were sometimes like the only times that there were like a distinct 2 or 3 times where I was like, I'm just going to quit this process. Like, it's not worth it. But I would see some of those people, and then you told me a lot of people like messaged you like directly and just spoke to having a similar experience and how appreciative they were. And like, that's, you know, kind of what kept me going. And I'm also, I mean, I'm known in my personal life for being, you know, a risk taker and just like trying to be fearless about things. And so at the end of the day, I was like, okay, like, don't let a bunch of people that are insecure themselves and have nothing better to do with their time. Like, this is something that I want to do to make sure that my dog, regardless of where he ends up, is still alive, and that I am as well. And hopefully that we're both better on the other side of this. So besides just like the general negativity, when people have talked about, oh, like needing to be selfless and doing what's best for the dog, and all these like constant, you know, comments about rehoming him, like, they don't know his history. They have no idea that I adopted him, that his family had probably spent 6 months before I adopted him trying to find a home for him, trying to find a situation where he could live in a way that was compatible with his humans and if he was with any other animals. And nobody took him, and he was too dangerous. We know he's bitten at least 4 different people. And so for people to think like, oh, I'm just doing this selfishly for him to come back to my pack, that's not it. We've talked so many times about, like, he's gonna go where the best place is for him. Yeah. And that was really frustrating. And I know that wasn't like shared, and his history hasn't really been shared extensively, but that was like frustrating to like constantly have people like tell me that, or both of us really, that we're like being selfish about how we're training or handling him. And that's just really not accurate.
You know, I think this needs to be a lesson for people, you know, especially you guys that were negative online, that your negativity almost caused this dog to lose, get mom to quit. And then what? Get put down? Quite possibly. That negativity that you guys spew, the negativity online is just astronomical. And it was so prevalent today, or this, you know, this time around, even with Woo's mom too. Y'all got to do better, man. It's like we need to support each other. We need to support each other. We need to be there for each other. We got to stop this negativity that's been happening in society today. You see an owner here who loves her dog and her family, and however she ended up here, this is where she's at. And to critique her and to be negative about it and to cloak that in this like almost righteous indignation that the people have, I guess. I don't know if that's the right term, but like, you guys are superior to her, and it's wrong. And I would like to see that changed. I mean, you literally, a guy like me who's been doing this for years, have worked so many dogs. You got me to doubt myself for a minute there. It doesn't happen often. I'm arrogant. It doesn't happen often, but you did. You got me to doubt myself. And that's sad. But I got to give you credit. You know, you took this on, you know, and you're still taking it on, you know, and we're working through everything. But you've been a trooper through this whole thing. Your dedication to him is bar none. It's very impressive. And I'm glad that we had that opportunity to do our best to set you up for success and set him up for success. And, you know, I just hope that, you know, it continues to go down that road. And it's a way of life. that we're teaching. Yeah, I would call it dog training, but realistically it's relationship building. It's changing how you see your pack so that we don't end up in these situations again. And then whatever dogs you get next, you apply these same rules, you should get the same results. So anything else you want to add?
I think one of the other, just addressing a negative comment, is the fact that you are taking advantage of me, which I feel like was bullshit, and that's probably as G-rated as I could be with it. As someone who has done training before, and anyone that has participated in training, it's expensive, but it's like, what value are you placing on your time and money? And you've been so selfless. Like, you have kept him for months. You've allowed me to come out and work him by myself, work him with your other trainers, and the return on investment that I have gotten, far exceeds what I ever, actually paid you for. And people just need to be cognizant also of their comments. Like, it's not just about being like hurtful. It's, it's defamation really at the end of the day.
It is.
And this is a really unique training program, and it's a process that you have to be willing to invest in. And I hope that other people will consider the investment, but again, don't make judgments when you have really no idea what's going on.
Yeah. No, that's a good thing you pointed out, because it was hurtful, and but at the same time expected from people.
Yeah.
People just they judge without thinking, they judge without knowledge, and maybe they're using a little bit of what's the term I want to say? Their own ethical, right? It's their own ethics there. Maybe that's what they would be doing.
Yeah, I just think social media, unfortunately, is an easy platform for dissension and for being just mean to be mean.
Yep.
And I know at the end of the day, those people really lack self-esteem, and they lack true relationship and connection, because if you really had that in your heart, you would never try and pick apart you, me, Odin, this entire process.
Yeah.
You would either, what's the saying? Like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. You would either do that or be a cheerleader. And I mean, I'm not opposed to having negative views as, someone that was in academics for a long period of time. Like, that's my whole world, is to be critical, to tear apart theory, to find truth. And I'm not opposed to that. It's that mean aspect. It's like the knife and twisting it. Like, that's not what's necessary. Like, I mean, we've had words where it was like, there's part of the critical process of learning, and that's fine. It's when you're tearing people down for no reason, it's just so unnecessary.
It's really done to build themselves up.
It is.
Like, I've noticed that with a lot of trainers too, is they do it to make themselves feel important, feel relevant, because they're not out doing this work.
Yeah.
And I know we as trainers need to change that thought process and the temperature that's happening out there in society today. Yeah. It's gonna take time though.
It is. But we just work through it. And that's ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about his life. It's about Bodhi's life. He's a rescue as well.
Yep.
And it's making sure that, they're successful. And that's what your job is. That's what my job is, to make sure that they're successful, they're fulfilled, and they have the best life that they can have. And it's been worth, every penny and every hour and mile I've been on the highway.
Well, you've done, what you've done is in this process is you've shown, again, great vulnerability, but you've shown the process that it takes, to go through this. But you've shown what being a true dog owner is about. Yeah, did you make mistakes? Sure, we all do, right? Even as a professional dog trainer, I make mistakes. But it's how we recover from those mistakes and how we move on. That's what makes you a true dog owner, a true dog person. Everybody else, dog lovers.
Yep.
Right? Dog owners see their mistake, ask for help, do what's required of them, and don't give up. And you did that, and you've shown that. And that's way beyond what any of these other people would have done. So for that, man, I give you absolute credit.
Oh, well, thank you. It's it's about being the best person that you can be and giving the best life that you can to your animals. And what people don't realize, it's not pup cups, it's not going to dog parks. It's about fulfilling them, making sure that they have structure and you know, while I think I had a decent skill set coming in, and had, you know, some experience with big dogs, power breeds, you know, he was a little bit of an advanced dog. And then, you know, bringing Bodie in,
Get him some water.
you know, didn't help. But we all make mistakes. You want some
It's
water?
all
Bud?
right. It's how we recover from them.
Yeah.
So, Odin just left. How are you feeling?
Well, sad. Odin's awesome. You know, I'm just happy he's going home. So, you know, I feel like we did a really good job with him, and, you know, I'm happy he gets to go home with his mom, but at the same time, I loved having that guy here. He was my buddy, so, you know, he made going into the kennels just a ton of fun. But, yeah, I feel like he's going to do well, though, you know. It was a long, long road. I think he's one of our longer clients that stayed here besides some of those old board and trains we had, you know, back when we worked with the rescues. Was he 3 months here? I think something like that. It's not about the time, it's about getting it right. And, you know, thinking back to when everything started and what could have caused it, you know, I'll never know exactly, but I think it was a perfect storm of her health issues, her work being such a big priority, bringing in a new dog that was also a power breed, and that I think, you know, Odin got jealous of not having enough structure in the home, not knowing how to correct the issues. Basically in the passenger seat in a car that the dogs were driving. So, you know, I believe we gave her the tools on how to drive that car, how to create structure, and she's taking care of her health now, which is a big deal. And I think it'll probably work out